Yo, guys, it's your boy Bernard. Welcome to another episode of the Angry Blurred Podcast, where I'll be discussing everything nerdy that has caught my eye this week. As you can see, I got my Dubby hat that I told you guys about, and I have my cherry limer here, which I will be trying later. But let's go ahead and get into some news. Alright, so I don't know if you guys are aware of what upfronts are, but basically they are just basically a showcase for networks to talk about upcoming projects for advertisers so they can get money to develop said things. As we wait for Fast Forever, which is Fast 11, I don't know why that name is there, but it is what it is. Vin Diesel was at the NBC upfront and said that Peacock is launching 4 new shows for the Fast and Furious universe. He said 4, but Peacock said there's actually going to be 1. Don't know how much of that is going to be accurate. You know, they might just launch 1 to see how it goes and then launch 3 more. But this will not be the first time Fast and Furious will be going to a streaming service. There's the animated show on Netflix as well. But Vin Diesel said as pressured about these movies as we've been for the last decade, we realized that fans wanted more. They wanted to expand the legacy characters and stories. Okay, so how specifically? What will any of these shows be about? Will they follow the franchise after the 11th movie? Will they go back and fill in the gaps left open by the movies? We don't know, but as Fast fans, we know what we like to see, and here are some ideas. So I'm like, So they were talking about, well, this is actually what I'm reading from IO9. The last part was from the writer of this article. They threw out some ideas of what they would like to see. Like they want to see a Han series. You know, what was he doing in Tokyo before the events of Tokyo Drift, or after he quote unquote died? Somebody we haven't seen since Too Fast, Too Furious, Suki. What the hell has Suki been up to? I don't think Devin Aoki is still acting. They want more of the Tokyo drifting. This one is a dumb idea. They're saying what's Brian been up to? Don't do that. They want more of the race wars. But I'm just like, I would like to see what Han was doing in between, Tokyo Drift and Fast X, when they revealed he was back from the dead, that he didn't die, whatever. Suki, yeah, because Devin Aoki. We can even do a Tej series if Ludacris is down for it. Hell, do Tej and Rome, have them going around the world, and you can bring in Natalie Emmanuel as Ramsey again. So I don't know. I really honestly don't know how I would feel about this series continuing past the 11th movie, if that movie ever comes out. This has been 4 years since Fast X? Let me see when Fast X came out real quick, because that's going to bug the hell out of me. 2023, so 3 years. And apparently Fast Forever will not be out until 2028. So I'm just like, can we get it together over at NBC, Universal, Peacock, whatever you want to call it? Because I don't know what we calling it now. All right. My next story is in regards to Superman. So we have some casting for Man of Tomorrow. And none other than Cinqua Walls will be joining the cast. No ideas on who he is playing. A few people are thinking maybe he's Cyborg. I'm like, I don't know if James Gunn wants to touch on any characters that were in the Snyderverse just yet, besides the ones that he wrote, like Peacemaker and Rick Flag Jr. and who else? King Shark, so on and so forth. But yeah, no comment on who he is going to be playing, but I first got introduced to Cinqua Walls on Teen Wolf, which actually just celebrated its 15th anniversary a few days ago. He was also on the NBC series Friday Night Lights. He was also on the Fight Night $1 Million Heist series with Kevin Hart, Sam Jackson, Taraji P. Henson, and Don Cheadle. He was in the White Men Can't Jump remake. He's also in Carry On Netflix. He was also in The Blackening. So if you have not seen The Blackening, watch The Blackening. The Blackening was a hilarious movie. I might watch it this weekend, but I got a lot of stuff to watch this weekend. I just got around to watching the drama with Robert Pattinson and Zendaya. That movie is almost a full-on crash out, but crap, I can't remember what movie I told y'all was a legit crash out, but it's up there. But I don't want to spoil it, but check it out. Also, we got a teaser trailer for season 3 of My Adventures with Superman. So we're dealing with a lot of stuff in this season. So it looks like they're trying to lean more into the human side of Clark, with him basically suffering from burnout, because not only are we getting Cyborg Superman, who will be voiced by Max Middleman, we're also getting Superboy, who is voiced by Darren Criss. So I need to, I can't wait for this season to come out. When does it drop again? June 13th. So it looks good. We got Giganta in the trailer. Obviously, Lex is there, and it looks like Lex is going to get swung on by Lois for something he did, which is standard Lois Lane Lex Luthor relationship. A slap, a punch, a gut check. But I can't wait. I really want to know who Cinco Walls is playing in Man of Tomorrow. Maybe he'll be Steel, because this does have a lot to do with Brainiac. Steel is usually good when, that's usually when you see Steel. If there's a Brainiac arc in a comic, you will see John Henry pop up. I don't want them to cut his hair. It's don't do a bald cap. Just let him have hair. Just do it, okay? All right. My next story is in regards to Best Buy, the place I used to work at, in the messiness that has been going on behind the scenes on some things. So an internal email leak revealed that Grand Theft Auto 6 pre-orders could be beginning as soon as May 18th. So that will be Monday for you guys. So if you are listening to this on Monday, I suggest you go on Best Buy's website and see if GTA 6 is up for pre-order. But something like this happened for Kingdom Hearts 3 back in 2015, I want to say. Yeah, because I don't think Square Enix revealed the original pre-order date until the leak actually happened. So it was either Best Buy or, no, it wasn't GameStop. GameStop was something else a few years ago. But yeah, it was definitely Best Buy, because it was in our system and I pre-ordered it. I want to say summer of 2015 or something. I can't remember, but I know I pre-ordered it in 2015 because the game didn't come out till 2018. I want to say something like that. Yeah. So there's that. Like I just said, just keep an eye out for it. I don't plan on pre-ordering that game unless I see a deluxe edition, and it has to have a physical disc, because you know how I feel about physical media, guys. All right, so the John Wick universe is expanding. I told you guys about the Caine movie that they announced when John Wick chapter 4. How many John Wick movies are there? 4? All right, so you got 1, 2, Parabellum, 4. Okay, so yeah, I think 4. So casting for Caine, we got an update on that. So Rina Sawayama has joined the cast, as well as Dr. Montgomery. Trying to think where I know Rina Sawayama from. I was gonna say, was she in the Suicide Squad movies? No, she was not. I'm really trying to think. Let me go to her Wikipedia real quick. Wikipedia, filmography. Oh, she plays his daughter. That's where I know her from. Yeah, she played Caine's daughter. So yeah, and obviously Zachary Montgomery is from Stranger Things, 2017's Power Rangers movie. He was just in a movie called Faces of Death, which I did not get to see in theaters. He was also in Elvis. Yeah, those are the movies that a lot of people may know, but no idea on who he is playing. And I don't think we have a release date for Caine just yet. Let me go back to Caine Wikipedia. No release date on it just yet. All we know is that principal photography began last month in April. And no idea on where. Okay, so they started filming in Budapest on April 25th. And they will also be filming in Hong Kong in late June. So hopefully the movie is good. And speaking of things that I hope are good, Batman Part 2. So filming commenced earlier this week, last week, something like that. And Matt Reeves has just been revealing like who's playing who. Well, not everybody who's playing who, but who's returning and who's in the movie. Like a lot of these are speculated. So I'm just going to go over the cast and I'll tell you who's speculated. Obviously, Robert Pattinson is returning as Bruce Wayne / Batman. Jeffrey Wright is back as Jim Gordon. Andy Serkis is back as Alfred. Colin Farrell returns as the Penguin. Jamie Lawson will be returning as Mayor Villarreal. Gil Perez Abraham will be returning as Officer Martinez. We have no idea who Brian Tyree Henry is playing. We also have no idea who Sebastian Koch is playing. But it is rumored that Charles Dance from Game of Thrones, he was the villain in Last Action Hero. He might be playing Christopher Dent. Scarlett Johansson is rumored to be playing Gilda Dent, and Sebastian Stan is rumored to be playing Harvey Dent. So that's all we know about that. And obviously, October 1st of next year takes place in the winter. Who knows? Maybe Sebastian Stan is playing Victor Freeze. Don't know yet. All right, we got some Percy Jackson news. And so the Percy Jackson universe will continue to expand. So we will actually be getting a Camp Half-Blood spinoff. These are just the books, not the movies. Not the series. So for those of you who are fans of the book, Rick Riordan will be co-writing these books. And each Camp Half-Blood book will have a co-author. And it's going to be a 4-part series telling a different story of an adventure that happened at Camp Half-Blood while Percy was occupied. So like in between like the Lightning Thief, like one book would be there and so on and so forth. So I thought that was a good idea. So the first book is going to be called The Wild Zone, and it's co-written by Rick Riordan and Annabelle O. So the synopsis is Katie Kim may be a newcomer to Camp Half-Blood, but even she knows they weren't supposed to be running through the Wild Zone, which is a forest off limits to campers and staff. Why then did Clarice, head counselor of the Aries cabin, take 4 of her other newbies there in the dark of night to tell them to race back to camp by morning? So yeah, no idea on when the Wild Zone will be coming out, but they also announced that the second book will be co-written by Kyle Lukloff, and the third by Jade Adina, and the fourth will be co-written by Pablo Cartagena. So, yeah, and apparently there's supposed to be like a 6-month gap in between the books. So what's that? 2 books every year. So yeah, there's that. All right. I'm gonna take my break. I am going to mix my cherry limer. I need to go get a bottle of water. I got my shaker. I don't know why I didn't grab a bottle of water. But yeah, here's the Dubby ad just a few seconds early, and I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by Dubby. Dubby gives you focus and energy without the crash and jitters. It has no sugar, fillers, or artificial dyes. Mix 1 packet or scoop into 8 or 12 ounces of water. Stir or shake well. Some powderiness is normal, and it has all the important vitamins. So this has vitamin C, B3, B6, and B12. And it's made from coffee fruit extract. So drink it and go conquer a task. And go to Debbie.gg and use my promo code AngryBlurred10 at checkout to save 10% on your order. That's Debbie.gg with promo code AngryBlurred10. All right, I'm back. Went and got a bottle of water. Pop that open. Forgot to take the seal off the cherry limer. Where is the perforated tear? Is there no perforated tear on here? I'll never remember if there is or isn't. And I don't have any scissors over here. Box cutter, nothing. All right, let's just do this the hard way. Well, the easy way really is just screw off the top. Look at that, it came off anyway. So I hope this flavor is good. And the scoop is all the way at the bottom. But yeah, W, y'all need to send me some stuff for free to try out. And I just spilled some on my pants. That's just perfect. I feel like I'm doing an ASMR video. Just all right. Put my lid on this piece. All right, shake it up. All right, cheers. It's good. It's not too sour. It's like a nice, perfect balance of like cherry and lime. So yeah, it's good. All right. My next story is in regards to Sonic the Hedgehog 4. Jeff Fowler posted to social media that the film has wrapped production. So I'm very excited to see Little Sonic. What happened to my link for the story? All right. So Jeff Fowler made a post on Twitter saying, and that's a wrap on hashtag Sonic Movie 4. On behalf of this amazing cast and crew, we have filmed the best Sonic movie yet. Can't wait to share. I feel like he says that with every movie, but you know, that's kind of what you want when you do a sequel. You want that movie to be the best movie. So you want every movie to be better than the last. And I really hope this one is better than the last. I mean, we got Metal Sonic, we got Amy Rose. Let me go back over the cast. Ben Schwartz is returning as Sonic the Hedgehog. Idris Elba is returning as Knuckles the Echidna. Colleen O'Shaughnessy will be returning as Tails the Fox. Kirsten Bell will be voicing Amy Rose. I don't know if anybody ever calls her Amy Rose the Hedgehog. I just always see Amy Rose. She's obviously a hedgehog. James Marsden will be returning as Tom Wachowski. I never remember what Tika Sumpter's character's name is. So let me go ahead and look that up because I'm trying to go off the top of the dome. Maddie Wachowski. Lee Maju will be returning as Agent Stone. Keanu Reeves will be returning as Shadow the Hedgehog. Also, Ben Kingsley, Nick Offerman, Matt Berry, and Richard Ayoade will be in the movie with undisclosed roles. No idea yet on if Kirsten Ritter is returning or if Adam Paley is returning as well. So yeah, March 19th, 2027, I will be there. Everyone has a theory that Shadow will be showing up in the post-credit scenes because if you watch that teaser, they play like a riff of His World, which is the theme song from Sonic 06, a game we don't talk about because it was horrible. So yeah. Lanterns got a exclusive preview in Entertainment Weekly this past week due to their summer season catalog where they basically talked about shows that are coming up in the summer. So we got the timeline of that this show will be taking place in 2016 and 2026. So it said in 2016, we'll see Hal Jordan investigating a shooting that he believes is alien related, a perspective not shared by the skeptical local sheriff at the time. And Jon Stewart is the new recruit who Hal is pressed on into working with. And then sequences take place a decade later, and the case will expand to include something else. So yeah, I still don't know how I feel about the true detective aspect of this. Like, is like the town hiding an alien or something like that? Do they not know like superheroes exist? What is going on? But August 19th, I believe, is when Lanterns comes out. And I would like to know like how Sinestro is going to fit into all this, but we'll find out. Looking up the release date. When Lanterns comes out again. Doesn't say. Okay, whatever. Oh, August 16th, not the 19th. All right. So if you are like me and you are a fan of a two heart having time traveling alien and you live in America and you were wondering what's going on with Doctor Who since Disney decided to pitch out and whatnot, is it going back to HBO? Is it going back to BBC America? Is BBC America even a thing anymore? I don't believe it is. So Doctor Who will be going to AMC Plus on June 11th. And it will have Doctor Who from 2025 to 2022. It says 13 seasons, 5 doctors, and hours of adventure. If you want to watch anything past Jodie, keep the Disney Plus subscription, which is weird because, yeah, Disney helped produce it, but they don't own the rights. So this is coming from DoctorWho.tv. Beginning June 11th, Doctor Who fans in the U.S. will have 13 seasons available to binge, featuring beloved doctors portrayed by David Tennant, Matt Smith, Jodie Whittaker, Christopher Eccleston, and Peter Capaldi. AMC Plus announced today that it will be the new exclusive streaming home to the 13 seasons and 175 episodes, including specials of Doctor Who 2005 to 2022 in the U.S. beginning Thursday, June 11th. The longest running British sci-fi television series, which premiered 20 years ago in the U.S., follows the stories of a regenerating Time Lord who travels through all of time and space. So it sucks that the Disney Plus stuff isn't going to go there. I'm just like, whatever, bro. This is why, like, when you license stuff, like, it should be all or none. I get Disney co-produced those last 2 seasons with Shooty and those 3 specials with Tennant, but send them over to AMC Plus as well. But whatever. All right, my next story is just a small one. So, do you guys remember a little show called WandaVision that aired in 2021? And do you remember the at the end of that show, the military made another version of Vision that was all white, and it flew away. Do you? And we were teased for the longest that we were going to be seeing White Vision again in a show called Vision Quest. Well, we now have a release date for Vision Quest, and that will be October 14th on Disney Plus. So, can't wait to see that. They also made the announcement that season 2 of Ahsoka will be airing in 2027, which just pisses me off. It's like, why are we taking such long gaps in between shows? Like, if the actors are busy, that's one thing. But when did Agatha All Along air? I felt like that was 2 years ago. Let me look that up real quick. Wikipedia. All right, Agatha All Along. Yeah, 2 years ago, 2024, October 30th. I need Disney to get it together. I am so sick and tired of these streaming services just basically taking forever and a day in between seasons. Make it make sense, please. But whatever. Next story is also another small one. So if you are a fan of the Super Mario Galaxy movie, you can actually rent the movie beginning on May 19th. If you didn't sell the 7 Seas cue sound effect. So May 19th is this Tuesday. So it'll be up on Fandango at Home, Apple TV, Prime Video. I don't know what other streaming services there are where you can rent and buy movies. Oh, Movies Anywhere. And if you are like me, and you are a fan of digital media, I'm still so confused on the reason why we now have to wait damn near a month for physical and digital releases when it used to be like 2 to 3 weeks. I guess they think more people are going to buy it digitally. No, we are on a uptick of physical media purchases. June 16th is when it will be out on DVD, Blu-ray, and 4K. So no idea on when it will hit Peacock. I'm guessing it'll probably be like October or something like that. They usually wait like 4 or 5 months after the physical release to put it on Peacock because Wicked did the same thing. So yeah, best believe I will be getting the 4K of the Super Mario Galaxy movie to go with my 4K of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. If you didn't listen to my review, check it out. It was a good movie, but it just felt like more or less the same stuff from the first one. So yeah. All right, and I have one last story before I get into my reviews of Punisher Last Kill. One Last Kill. I'm gonna say Daredevil Born Again, The Boys, and Mortal Kombat 2. For you fans of Futurama, season 14 will be coming out on August 3rd. But I hate to burst your bubble. You will not be able to binge this one like you did season 13. So they are going back to weekly drops. They did not give a reason why, but apparently they have put out some first looks of the season. Bender is dancing on a mop like a stripper. Yeah, Monday, August 3rd. And it says new episodes will stream on Monday. So don't worry, you don't have to wait till the middle of the week like, Prime Video did us with Invincible and The Boys. It's like, why does Prime only drop on Wednesdays? I need that to really make sense. All right. Anyway, cue up the spoiler alert. You gotta stop saying that. I'm going to cue up the spoiler alert. And I'm going to talk about The Punisher, One Last Kill. All right, so this is directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green. It's co-written by Ronaldo Marcus Green and John Bernthal. It stars John Bernthal, Deborah Howell, Judith Light, and Jason R. So, according to Dario Scardopan, this is supposed to take place in between seasons 1 and 2 of Daredevil Born Again after Frank escaped from Fisk's compound at the season 1 of Daredevil Born Again. So, as we all know, Frank's family was killed by the Nucci family, and apparently he wiped them all out, and now he is trying to deal with the aftermath of that in his little Sicily apartment. He is dealing with his PTSD, and he's isolated and alone, and as the city devolves into chaos, he begins having hallucinations of his old Marine squad and his deceased family. Neverly Castle is backed into a corner when Ma Nucci comes knocking at his door for revenge. She puts a bounty on his head for killing her husband and 2 sons. Frank has to dig very deep down to realize what makes him the Punisher again. And then, after his neighbors are basically terrorized while everybody's looking for him, that dog comes out again. So he has the opportunity to go after Manucci, but he saves the owner of a coffee shop that he goes to, Dre, his wife Debbie, and their daughter Charlie. So yeah, after all that, Frank puts back on the costume, arsenal's up, and he stops this one dude who killed this guy's dog at the beginning of the special from attacking an innocent couple, and puts one in his head. So yeah, Frank is back up. Punisher is awake. Really don't know why, they didn't have John Bernthal shave his beard at the end of this special, since it's supposed to basically lead into Spider-Man Brand New Day, where he doesn't have a beard. So yeah, I thoroughly, let me stop lying, y'all. I honestly I wasn't feeling this special. I don't know if it was just because it was just like, it just felt all discombobulated. It's like, is the city really in chaos, or is this just all in Frank's head? Because he was seeing Curtis, his friend from the Punisher series. I'm like, did he die? I don't know. Because I didn't finish season 1 and seasons 2 of The Punisher before Daredevil Born Again. But I'm just like, is the city like really fucked up, or is this just how Frank is perceiving Little Sicily? But I know Karen wasn't actually there. He actually got his daughter to play um, his daughter, so that makes them like the 16th people in the MCU to play like parent and child. But honestly, I'm gonna have to give this like a 6. Um, just because like apparently there were audio issues, and when I watched it, it seemed like it was very low, and Disney was like, "Oh, you guys are playing it in the wrong format." So I've never had to change the settings on my soundbar in the 5 years since I've owned it, and maybe like longer. I don't remember how long I've owned said soundbar, but I basically had to turn it up and turn down the subwoofer because the subwoofer was just loud as hell. And there's this one scene that has been going around the internet. You've probably seen it by now. Frank gets thrown off a roof, gets thrown onto like an air conditioner unit, and it looks janky as hell. So Disney had to come out and say, "Oh, that was a practical stunt," but we had to basically CGI swap the stunt person's face with John Barenthal's. It don't look practical at all. It looks like it's straight up like uh, visual effects that weren't polished completely. Some people were saying that why does that look like Joel from The Last of Us? I'll see if I can find it and like splice it here. But it didn't look good. Like I had to rewind it like 5 times. I'm like, wait, what? They actually let this like slide by? And some people, just being uninformed and uneducated are saying, oh, this is what happens when you fire your visual department. And I like have to tell some people the visual department is responsible for art, concept art for movies. They're not responsible for visual effects. That's a whole different department. And some people decided, throw out some racial epithets, call me N-word and call me a monkey or whatever. Sorry, you were just dumb enough to not understand what the hell visual effects department and visual arts department is, but that's neither here nor there. So yeah, it's a 6 for me, dog. I might give it a rewatch. Don't know when. But if this is how y'all want to end the Marvel special presentations, bad note because the last one was what the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special, and that was good. Like we really do need more Marvel special presentations. This probably should have been like a 2-part thing or something like that. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and talk about The Boys, The Frenchman, The Female, and The Man Called Mother's Milk, directed by Sylvian White, written by Anselm Richardson. So Homelander is crashing out due to him being empowered by V1. He kills the president, dissolves the Seven, and prepares to reveal his divinity to the world. Soldier Boy says, "You know what? I'm good, bro, because you are tripping balls." And Homelander didn't like that, so he put him in a chokehold and put him back in stasis. And after the Seven is dissolved, the Deep basically begins low-key crashing out and is threatened by marine animals due to the pipeline disaster in the last episode? Um, by a shark named Xander, voiced by none other than Sam Jackson. Remember March 15th, motherfucker. Marie Monroe and Jordan Lee, who show up finally after being recruited by Annie at the end of season 2 of Gen V, tell Annie that everything that's going on with O'Fallon and Fox Studios. Meanwhile, the boys, Frenchie is trying to recreate Soldier Boy's powering ability in Kimiko. Butcher, Huey, Annie, and MM infiltrate Fox Studios to investigate, but Butcher and Huey are captured by Synapse, who is a psychic shapeshifter. And MM and Annie kind of have a heart-to-heart conversation, and he reveals where the name Mother's Milk came from. Huey distracts Synapse, which allows Butcher to kill him. After they kind of low-key have a heart-to-heart when Synapse reveals that Butcher has been basically tortured since he was in the war. And Annie and MM rescue a bunch of people who are in prison doing a propaganda screening who don't believe that Homelander is the one true God. Frenchie, meanwhile, at the base convinces Sage to help him figure out how to recreate the Soldier Boy powers in Kimiko, and she eventually does, and they actually get it right. But then Homelander finds the base. Frenchie distracts him, so he doesn't find Kimiko and Sage because Homelander can't see through zinc. Homelander confronts Frenchie in the uranium chamber, and this is where it gets kind of vague because the chamber goes off with Homelander and Frenchie in it. Homelander flies away, and Frenchie dies in Kimiko's arms. But did Homelander do anything to Frenchie, or did he die from the uranium poison? Because we've seen some behind-the-scenes photos of Tomar Capone wearing like a blood sack, which doesn't necessarily mean that Homelander lasered him, because Homelander tends to not kill people who aren't afraid of him. We saw that in the last episode. He didn't kill the legend. So a lot of people are upset with this episode just because it's like, oh, we got a lot left in the air and this is how y'all end the episode. But I don't know. I enjoyed the episode. And like people were complaining about a 2-minute scene between Dogma and She-Line basically sniffing each other's butts. I don't even think it was 2 minutes. It might have been like 1 minute and 10 seconds or something. We got one more episode, and like everyone's like, oh, so are we not going to have Jordan and Marie show up some more? I'm like, probably not, because when this was done, they had no idea that Gen V was going to be canceled. So if they do show up, they might show up just for a final fight, but where those characters are left off, we don't know. They might show up in The Boys Mexico. Like Eric Kripke said when they announced when the Gen V Vault Rising series was going to start. So I don't know. I really don't know. It really felt like a waste of space just to have Jordan Marie show up just to like help out the people that Mother's Milk and Annie saved from those sidekicks in She-Line and Dogma. But it is what it is. Like, people have to understand, like, the shit is done like a year in advance. Like, Gen V got canceled, 3 weeks ago? Kripke didn't know, and people leave Kripke alone. He didn't cancel the show, okay? Prime Video did. But anyway, it is what it is at this point. People are so uninformed, even though they have the internet in their pockets and they can just literally look all this stuff up. But it is what it is. All right, Mortal Kombat 2, directed by Simon McQuaid, written by Jeremy Slater, stars Carl Urban, Adeline Rudolph, Jessica McNaney, Josh Lawson, Ludi Lin, Makad Brooks, Tati Gabriel, Louis Tan, Damon Harriman, Chen Han, Tadanobu Sato, Joe Towson, and Hiroyuki Sanada. So, pretty much the same story as the first movie, but now we get a flashback where Shao Kahn kills Emperor Jared and Mortal Kombat taking over Edenia in the name of Outworld, as basically makes Queen Sindel his concubine and makes Katana his daughter. But then, we get a flash forward to the end of Mortal Kombat 1 where they go and recruit Johnny Cage, but you also find out that Quan Chi, on Shao Kahn's order, regards Kung Lao and Kano. He makes Kung Lao revenant, and he is unable to corrupt Kano due to Kano already being corrupted. So Raiden and Johnny Cage recruit Raiden and Sonya recruit Johnny as their fifth fighter to fight in Mortal Kombat alongside Sonya, Liu Kang, Jax, and Cole Young. But Johnny, like Cole in the first movie, refuses to participate. Keep in mind, there's no mention of Arcanas in this movie. There's no mention of the brand in this movie. So they send Johnny Cage back. He's at a bar drinking, ran by none other than Ed Boon, co-creator of the Mortal Kombat franchise. But the tournament begins, and he is forced to fight Katana, which he loses. Sonya has to fight a corrupted Sindel, which she wins. You find out that Katana is actually working as a double agent and spying on everything that I'm gonna say Shang Tsung. well, Shang Tsung as well, but Shokan is doing. So she tells him about reviving Katana and reviving Kano and uh, the amulet of Shinnok, which Kano stole in the first movie. Jade, who is Katana's bodyguard, confronts her about betraying Shokan. Quan Chi gets the Shinnok amulet from Kano. They send Kung Lao, who's back as a revenant, to attempt to kill Raiden because they need the power of a god to power the amulet, which they almost do, but Raiden teleports everyone away for the attack. Second round of the tournament begins. Liu Kang and Kung Lao face off, despite Liu Kang trying to reason with Kung Lao, but he kills him. Jax fights Jade, but Jade gets spared to repay, their side for what Katana did for Johnny. Cole fights Shokan, who is now powered by the amulet of Shinnok, who is basically a god. Cole actually kills him, but surprise, he can't die. And Shokan kills Cole. And after they realize that, Cole ain't coming back, Liu Kang, Jack, Sonya, and Johnny travel to the road to the Tarkatans to try to figure out a way to get the amulet after Katana reveals that Shokan is indeed powered by God. So they try to bargain with Baraka, who's the leader of the Tarkatans. And he's basically like, no, Johnny Cage gets all bravado and stuff, and Baraka don't like that. So those two end up fighting. And Johnny actually beats Baraka to the point where he's like, you know what, I'll help you guys. Meanwhile, Quan Chi has also resurrected Bihan, who is now Noob Saibot, and he is forced to, not forced, but he is tasked with protecting the amulet regardless. So they sneak into the castle. Jax is killed by Shokan. So Caine and Sonya are taken away for the next round of the tournament. Meanwhile, Kano, who is not a participant in the tournament, is just basically, it's like, hey, Johnny Cage, I'll help you out, but I need this, that, and the third. Bihan takes the amulet to another realm. Johnny and Kano go back to Earth realm, where Raiden uses his last little bit of power to take them to the Nether realm, because they need a guide to find Bihan. And we come across none other than Hanzo Hasashi, aka Scorpion, basically in a rock garden meditating until Kano reveals that Bihan is alive, and you find out that, after Kano ate a peach, that, that was hell, bro. Alright, so they team up and fight. Bihan, Jade actually shows up and helps destroy the amulet, and Johnny Cage unlocks his power. And Katana actually is the one who kills Shokan. Katana, Jade, Kano, Raiden, and Sonya all show up afterwards, and they plan to use Quan Chi to revive everyone who died. So Cole, Jax, and possibly Kung Lao. But yeah, Earth Realm survived because Katana switched sides. So there's that. Thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I'd give it a 9 out of 10, which is a significant improvement from the first one. Jeremy Slater, who wrote this movie, said that Arcanas will not be mentioned in any further future movie. Don't know if he actually has the power to say that, unless he's writing the third one. This is kind of like the Russos saying that, Peter isn't responsible for Uncle Ben's death, like I talked about last week. But maybe he is going to be writing the third one. I don't know yet. But check out Mortal Kombat 2. I don't know what my next movie I'll be reviewing is. I feel like something comes out this coming week. Let me check Rotten Tomatoes real quick, or Fandango. But I also believe Spider-Man Noir will be dropping its first episode next week. I don't know. Alright, here we go. Movies. Alright. I need coming soon. Here we go. I am not. Not this coming week, but 2 weeks from now, I will be reviewing Mandalorian and Grogu. And after that, something, can't remember what it was. It definitely wasn't Breadwinner. I don't know. I'll figure it out whenever it happens. But yeah, guys, that's it. Thank you for viewing this episode of the Angry Blur podcast. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to w.gg, use my promo code AngryBlur10 and check out to save 10% on your order. I am going to finish this cherry limer I made. And also next week, I will start streaming Marvel Spider-Man. I'm going to start with Spider-Man Remastered, then do Miles Morales, which I have right here because I reinstalled the game, and then Spider-Man 2. And after that, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do a Telltale game. Not sure yet. Anyway, guys, peace out, and I will see y'all next week.